Welcome, welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut. And I am your host, Jody Coleman, in the building, man. Hope y'all had a great and fabulous weekend, because I did. We also got my man, Michael, the People Champion, in the building. How you feeling, my guy?
I feel great. Good to see you today. Missed you yesterday.
Yeah, man. When you're doing everything, sometimes you need a break, man. Sometimes you just need a break, especially when you've been screaming alpha. I don't know what else to do. Hey, we got my man Jarrell Soul on Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Man, how you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. How y'all doing today, man?
I'm great.
Like that hat, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Man,
yeah.
Monday, free agent frenzy, you know, right? So, it's a lot of free agency going down. We're gonna talk about agency, a lot of teams.
Got a lot of Dak Prescott news, I see.
Got a lot of. Yeah, I want to talk about that too. They just don't know how to get a ring down there in Dallas. For no reason. They just don't know how to get it. We'll talk about that too. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and lead the show off with that real quick. Get into our frequency. So long sports, you talked about it. Dak Prescott basically called off his wedding because he asked his wife to do a prenup. She didn't want to do it. He's worth, $300 million. And what do you think about that? More NFL players do that? What do you think about this?
I think the young lady's she's getting bad advice from somebody, bang. I mean, if you think about this, Mike, the lady got 2 kids with Dak already. My man makes $60+ million a year. Do the math on that child support. I mean, she's getting paid. So no matter what prenup does, that just covers him for the most part. That don't mean she gonna walk away empty-handed. Go be a good wife. Keep popping out some of them babies, and your life is gonna be great. For some reason, somebody told her to not sign a prenup. I don't know where she got that bad advice from. Worst business idea ever is to not sign that prenup.
Well, then what's this business I hear about the bachelorette party?
What happened?
Where there was some behavior at the bachelorette party that got back to Dak, and that was part of this decision too. Now that could be scuttled, but I don't have a verifying source on that yet. So if you haven't heard it, then we'll do a little more deep diving. But it appears as if Bad Bear had been hired for the entertainment, and that the
who?
Bad Bear.
Okay. Hey, Mike, does this guy work for Diddy? Is he the Punisher? Remember that guy that worked for Diddy?
Yeah, I think we're headed down a private show lane for the ladies at the bachelorette party. And there may have been some nefarious behavior allegedly.
Well, no, Mike, technically she's not married yet.
Technically, she's not married yet, but I think if your fiance is out there with Bad Bear, and there's possible footage of nefarious behavior with the male stripper at the party, this
So,
might be grounds for not moving forward with the
so
wedding in addition to the prenup. But we'll do some more digging to get more on that. We'll keep you guys tuned once we can verify or confirm.
So, Mike, you telling me Dak doesn't go by, if you see me fighting a bear in the woods, help the bear? Dak said, no, don't help the bear. Help me.
Don't
please.
help the bear. Help me, help you. But stay away from the bear.
Wow. I hadn't heard that, but you don't know what's true, what's not true.
Every time you go to the park, they tell you, don't feed the ducks. Don't feed the gators. Don't feed the bear. Don't feed the bear.
No, since we're talking about the Cowboys, man, there's going to be some video of Dak's ex-fiance wrestling with a bear. I don't know if I'm ready for that, Mike. I think that video is going to, with these cell phones, everybody got cameras down. Somebody got a video somewhere if that really went down.
Yeah, like I said, right now it's allegedly. There is no evidence. I want to speak on Dak's fiance's behalf right now. There is no evidence at this point. This is just an alleged post that was floating around earlier today, because that's what I saw first before I heard about your post and the whole thing with the prenup.
Yeah,
and making the right decision there. And then I was watching something with Paul Pierce, and there was another a female only fans who says if her man can't provide her, doesn't want her to work, then he has to provide her with a minimum of $40,000 a month, because that's her take-home pay a month for her OnlyFans productions.
Well, you keep on doing that OnlyFans, sweetheart. That's close. You're gonna get to that 40 grand. Come on, bro. 40 grand, Mike. Come on.
Hey man, she said, to keep up with her lifestyle, and a man wants her 100% available to him at all times with the money that she makes. He has to supplement that, And so, if I was going that route, I believe in teamwork. And so you carry your load, I'll carry my load, and we'll keep this thing moving. You ain't got to worry about me and worry about this 40,000. I'm not trying to impact your bottom line, baby. I'm trying to protect mine.
I know that's right.
So once again, I'm going to help you, help me, help you.
Man, stay away from the bears. Don't feed the bears. Smoking the bear, all that good stuff.
That's crazy work.
Jody, you back?
I think that a lot of athletes should you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I was just because I'm gonna have to switch off again. I don't know what's going on with the audio. About far as Dak Prescott doing it, I think that he dodged a huge bullet, in my opinion, man. I just think that a lot of times these athletes, they should really think about doing those particular things and protecting their investment or whatnot. And you start seeing, like, where is these women at when they didn't have any? Where was he at when he didn't have anything? When he was making league minimum, when he got drafted in the 4th round, it is all of a sudden now this man is worth $60 million a year. All you want to do is sign a piece of paper. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If a woman doesn't want to sign a prenup with me, which I'm a very generous person, but I do want you to sign a prenup, and she says no, then I don't want to deal with that woman no more. Because what are you really here for, man? And I know y'all probably touched on that a bit, but I'm all about prenups. Even if it's the woman, even if I get into a relationship with Oprah, or Gail in my case, I'm gonna go sign a prenup because I'm not here for money, man. I think that's the problem. That's why the lines get blurry when it becomes when money gets involved. So, but I get it, fellas. Hey, we had a free agency, man, was crazy today, man. We had a lot of trades. We had a lot of guys moving, veteran guys that I ain't think was gonna move. But it's been a lot of stuff going on in this free agency period, man. So we just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna go and you just tell me. So tell me, what was one of the ones that shocked you the most on this
I would
free agency
say,
period?
the biggest thing that surprised me was probably Alec Pierce getting 100 and something, 112. Mike, am I right? $112 million this kid got.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for. I'm not saying he's not a good wide receiver, but that's top tier wide receiver money. To pay that guy that kind of money, I think he got overpaid. But hey, it is what it is, man. I mean, he's not gonna turn it down. I think that really shocked me. I'm not really surprised Mike Evans bounced to a different team. I mean, they got a lot of young, good wide receivers in Tampa. So him going somewhere else, get with a better chance to win the Super Bowl, possibly in the Bay, that don't really shock me that much. I would say the biggest thing so far is that Alec Pierce, the amount of money that he got.
Mike, what are some of the free agents that got you that you was kind of shocked that went to their new homes?
You want one or you want some? Because I got a little bit of a list here.
Just go ahead, give me about 3 or 4 that you think.
Okay, so I got Tua going to Atlanta. I was really looking more for Kyler Murray, but I'm not upset with Tua because Atlanta needs a veteran quarterback in the locker room to start the season if Penix isn't ready to play. And either one of those guys would fit the bill, and then they can battle it out for Penix to see who will be the starter the remainder of the year. I think the one thing that I can say is that Tua will have weapons that he didn't have before in Miami. He did not have a running back like
Really?
Bijan.
With Tyreek Hill and Waddle?
He didn't have a running back like Bijan Robinson and an established running game that's been very efficient in Atlanta. Then he's got Drake London. And he almost caught for 1,000 yards. So, I mean, is there a better weapon on the Dolphins roster than Bijan Robinson?
No.
When Tyreek Hill was in his prime, no. When Tyreek Hill was in his prime, yes. When Tyreek Hill got to Miami, yes, he was more explosive. He almost had 2,000 yards receiving. Yes.
When he was in his prime, he was in Kansas City. Tua didn't play with that guy.
You say what?
Tua didn't play with that guy.
Boy, what? His best season was in Miami.
And how did it go this year?
Did. Go look up his stats.
And how did it go this year?
For 2,000 yards. Tyreek Hill had best season in Miami.
How did it go this year? And I really was just getting to,
he got hurt.
Just starting at the running back position for the running game with the premier running back in the league who also will catch for damn near 800 yards as well. That is a weapon that he has not played with out of the backfield. Then you go to Drake London. That's a top flight wide. That's the number 1 wide receiver. It's like a young Mike Evans out there playing wide receiver. Pitts had his best year. Atlanta's offense is young and it needs a steady trigger man. And I think Tua can provide that.
You think Tua's arm is strong enough, Mike? I don't know, man. I think he's accurate. I give him the accuracy thing, but I don't know about that arm strength from Tua. He gives me Chad Pennington vibes when it comes to that arm strength of his. What do you think?
He doesn't dazzle me with his arm strength, but I think that when Tua's upright and when he has the ability to get the ball out, he can be productive. And I have another quarterback that is coming off an injury that we like for our future. So this is a great time for Tua to shine or not, but Penix to get healthy. And if Tua's shining, you let him rock. If Tua's not shining, then you get Penix back in there and move forward. So Atlanta had to do something. And I like this move. Like I said, I would have liked Kyler Murray too.
Yeah.
Either or would have done it for me. So that's them. I see Walker going to Kansas City as a huge upgrade for them. Patrick Mahomes will finally have somebody who can be dynamic in the backfield for the first time in a while. They've been serviceable back there, but this will help the running game because I think Walker is a legitimate number one running back for me.
Yeah,
and so that's a huge upgrade for their offense alone with whatever else may be coming. They may be getting the once great Tariq Hill back. And if he quits running from the cops and quits doing all the other crazy stuff, maybe this thing will work out when he gets back. And I love Tyreek Hill. No, it's not, but I mean, damn, it's a fact. I like, I don't know that Max Crosby going to the Ravens is going to be this say all to be all to make the Ravens a Super Bowl contender. I think it has potential to make a defense better. And if you're going to go out and improve your defensive personnel, maybe you shouldn't have got rid of the coach because the coach wasn't the problem. A large part of it was that defense that we haven't seen Raven defense in a while. But anyway, I think that's a good addition. And then I think the Raiders are just, creating as much salary cap as they can to figure out what direction that they're going in with their future. So I think they made good additions by subtraction.
Okay. What I'm thinking about is I'm going to go first with the New York Giants. The New York Giants had a lot of money to spend, and they said, you know what, we're going to go out here and spend this money. They get, I like Tremaine Edmonds coming over there from the Chicago Bears, the linebacker position. They already got studs that rush the passer. Now you got a guy, you got Burns, who's a guy that's going to get you 13 plus sacks. You got Dexter Lawrence up the middle. We'll see what Abdul Carter does if he's not watching porn during film session. Let's see what he can do. Ooh. And then they still got a very, very high draft pick. So the Giants on defense already was really good, in my opinion. I think they needed some help in the secondary, and now they can go and get Caleb Downs. I think he will be available with that 5th pick. Looking also in the 2nd round to add some cornerbacks. You get Malik Neighbors back. You trust and believe in Jackson Dart. I think this free agency period, and I don't think they're done spending money. ETN going to the Saints was really a shocker to me. I thought that ETN was a mainstay with the Jacksonville Jaguars and their resurgence of what they did. I thought this is a guy that has been, couple of 1,000-yard seasons, great out the backfield, pick up the blitz pretty well, and you let him go. Of course, they want to go match the offer. The Saints offer him a hell of a lot of money to go down there to be the same type of running back. So I don't know what that means for Alvin Kamara because he's the same type of running back that he is down there. So I would love to see how that goes, man. So I don't know, man. I look at these guys, Tannenbaum going over to the Raiders. The Raiders ain't playing like Mike said, man. The Raiders not playing. So they went out here. They're getting pieces for Fernando Mendoza, the 1st pick. That's what they potentially gonna get defensively. They signed Nakobe Dean. They also got Quan Walker. So they got a couple Georgia linebackers in the stable. They got a couple extra 1st round picks with Max Crosby coming back on that deal. But this is the one, guys. This is what I'm going around. I'm going to go to you, Soul, first on this one. Rashard Gary going over from the Green Bay Packers going to the Dallas Cowboys. It's almost like they traded Micah Parsons for Rashard Gary. And that's how it looks in the grand scheme of things because they only got him for a 5th round pick. What do you think this really does? The Cowboys have been looking for a elite pass rusher, and Rashard Gary could be that guy. What do you think about that, Sol?
He hasn't been the same player since he hurt his ACL a few years ago. He played well when Michael Parsons got there because, all the pressure not on him. But when Parsons went down, he kind of his productivity kind of slacked off. But, different team, new defense. It's an upgrade from what they had. I mean, besides the Michael Parsons thing, since last year, that's an upgrade. So I think it could be a good fit for Dallas. And I think he's on the last year of his deal. So if it don't work out, they don't owe him anything after this. So I think it's a win-win for both teams.
before I get to Mike, so is Dallas for real now? They went and they're addressing all these things. They're addressing some secondary help. They got Thompson in the secondary. You got Rashard Gary. You got Kenneth Clark up the middle. You got Quentin Williams up the middle. You got your guys now. You're looking for cornerbacks. Offensively, franchise tagging Pickens. They signed their running back, and they got Dak Prescott. They got CeeDee Lamb. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys can be a serious contender this season?
Oh, most definitely, man. If that offense can be 80% of what it was last year, and the defense can just be middle of the pack. We all know defense don't have to be top 5 to win a Super Bowl. Just got to get some crucial stops every now and then. That's what their defense didn't do last year, and they still have 2 first-round picks in this year's draft, so they can still address their defense. Their secondary is still shaky, but like you guys say, if their pass rush is there, their secondary don't have to be as good. So I think if they address some more weaknesses in the secondary and the draft, Dallas can definitely be a contender in the NFC this year.
And let's not forget about the guy they drafted out of Eastern Carolina that was coming off an ACL tear. Before he had the ACL tear, he was rated as one of the top cornerbacks. Yeah, this is a full year off of that ACL tear. Let's see what he can do. And Bland has been injured. He's a former All-Pro. So you do got some cornerbacks in there. Let's see how they go. Michael, the people chat, man, talk to me. Rashard Gary going over to the Dallas Cowboys, fitting one of their needs at the edge rusher position. What do you think is Dallas really for real?
It's March, and Dallas is for real every March. Like, this is what happened. Super Bowl contenders, Michael Irvin will be belt to ass on their sideline as well this year. Get the ticker tape parade already, get the bottles of champagne chilled, and then the actual season will start.
Right.
Mike, you saying they paper champs?
They definitely not the people's champ. So, but and the sad part about it is because Jerry Jones has gotten so old now, I actually do have a soft spot for wanting them to have one last hurrah, because Twilight was set upon all of us. So, that would be great. He's been a character in the NFL, as an owner. He's like a Al Davis type guy. That probably was his idol as far as when he first bought the team and how he wanted to be a Maverick and all of that stuff. But, on paper, Dallas looks pretty good. I mean, they look good. Is everybody going to stay healthy? What year is Dak going to quite have? We know he's a little distracted right now. He's got some things going on. Hopefully they don't open the season with the Bears. But
Mike, don't do that.
We'll see.
Allegations.
This is my thing about the Cowboys. The Cowboys have made moves. These are moves that we're not used to them making, actual football moves. And we laughed about the Michael Parsons trade. Like, man, Jerry Jones is senile. What the hell was he doing? Now he's looking like a complete and utter genius because he got a Rashard Gary. He got Kenny Clark. So 2 of the guys off of that Green Bay defense, and actually the Green Bay defense is being dismantled during this offseason. They lost Quan Walker as well. I mean, goddamn, how much more can they lose off of this defense? Michael Parsons, we don't know when he's going to be back healthy. But nevertheless, that's Green Bay's problem. The Cowboys have got George Pickens under, which I think they should go ahead and try to find a way to sign him long-term before he goes out here and have another great season. And then they got the running back position. I think they right at the running back position. But defensively, they're not going to be as bad. They already got a new coordinator from the Eagles over there trying to get some pieces in place. So, I mean, Dallas, the reason why I think they're more for real than they have been in a few years because they're actually making football decisions out here instead of Jerry Jones trying to be in the forefront and be the guy, look at me. He's actually sitting back. He must let somebody else make these decisions. But look, I'm going to go back to you, Mike, on this one. What do you feel about Malik Willis taking the new quarterback head in Miami? He really did it on he only had a few games to prove himself, and I guess when he played well enough to be the new starting quarterback at the Miami Dolphins. What do you think about that, Mike?
When I heard that Malik Willis was going to the Miami Dolphins, I almost FaceTimed you to see if I could meet up and give you a hug, because I know that you've been celebrating this acquisition and this man's opportunity, because you have liked him for a long time. You've been talking about why he wasn't getting a chance, why did he this, that, and almost since he was drafted. You have felt like he is a guy that should have gotten a chance. He's shown in some spots that he potentially is the player, and now he gets his chance. So when you're committed to somebody, you are committed like no other. And so I know that this was an emotional moment for you today, and that you might have needed a hug, and I was here for you.
But yeah, I appreciate that. I think people they're looking at quarterbacks in a different light now.
Yeah.
And that goes back to Mike. I got to give Mike some credit with the Sam Darnold. Mike is opening up the door for these other quarterbacks to get second and third and sometimes fourth opportunities. Malik Willis is on his third team in so many years, because he went from Tennessee to Green Bay now with the Dolphins. What do you think about that when you reported it, that he was going to be, of course, it was Scheffler, but you reported for Against the Grain Sports that Malik Willis would be the new quarterback for the Miami Dolphins?
Hey, Jody, they got my man stats from last year. He went 30 for 35, 422 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. I mean, if you're an analytics guy, if you spread that over entire season, we got ourselves the next Joe Montana.
How many wins did he have, though?
He finally got them the replacement for Dan Marino. They've been waiting for 3 decades to get the replacement for Dan Marino. I don't know, man. I'm happy for the kid. Apparently, the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins was the defensive coordinator, I believe, with Green Bay. Yeah. So he said, I saw him in practice. I know what he can do. So they're going to go with that. That's fine. I mean, we're really hungry for quarterbacks in the NFL, so, Jody. So you make sure when you get hold of your grandson in these summer months, make sure you teach him to play quarterback, so he can make a whole lot of money. So that's what it's all about, man. Just play well, just enough to make a lot. Because look, Mr. Trubisky's still making money in this league, and he really never really been about nothing in this league. So I hope Malik Willis gets his chance to fail or maybe be successful. You never know.
Oh, yeah, speaking of Trubisky, he went over to the Tennessee Titans today as well. But Malik Willis, man, I love the fact that he's getting an opportunity and he's not in there with any competition. And that's going to be one of my thoughts that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, that some quarterbacks get drafted and they get automatic competition in that quarterback room. And some guys don't, no matter what their performances are. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment, because I got a bone to pick. It's going to be with Mike on that situation. But I think Malik Willis getting down there. The only thing I don't like is they're talking about trading away Jaden Waller. So you're going to have this kid come down here with no weapons. You know Tyreek Hill's already been released. That's the only thing I don't like. You're putting down there with a new coach, a revamped offensive line, and no weapons. How it's almost like you're putting this guy in a situation. I'm glad he's getting the opportunity, but you're not putting him in the best situation to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're not putting him in an advantageous situation that's going to allow him to be the quarterback that we need him to be. And that's what I struggle with personally. I struggle with that because he's going to get down there. So if he's not successful, they're going to say, look, we gave him a chance. He didn't come through. We gave him, what, $30-something million a year. And look, he's no Sam Darnold, but we know that the cupboard is bare in Miami. We got my nephew, the voice of the youth. We're talking NFL free agency, and we're talking about Malik Willis being the new quarterback with the Miami Dolphins. What did you think about that, Donald, when you saw that?
I mean, it was decent. I guess it looked like he can play for what we saw. I mean, I agree with going with him over going to try to draft a quarterback. At least we seen him play in the NFL and look pretty decent.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on. Solo on Sports. I'm going to go around the horn. Michael Pittman, the longtime Indianapolis Colts wide receiver, has moved on, and now he's a Pittsburgh Steelers, and he can. Is this going to be enough to get Aaron Rodgers to come and play one more season with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
The Steelers, it seems like they've been running the same playbook for 40 years, 50 years. They keep the same coach. They don't make many changes. But now they're starting to do things different, and this shit ain't making no fucking sense to me. You keep signing all these goddamn wide receivers, signing defensive backs. You still ain't got no fucking quarterback. You're depending on old-ass Aaron Rodgers to come back and save what? let him go. Put some money into Kyler Murray. To me, I would go out and get Kyler Murray. You can get him for Dollar Tree money right now because Arizona's going to pay all his bills. So I would let Aaron Rodgers retire, and I would bring in Kyler Murray. They got the weapons already, and see what we can do after that. Because they keep down the right receiver, no quarterback. I wouldn't trust Aaron Rodgers moving forward. I would just go ahead and bring Kyler Murray in, sign him to a cheap deal, and go from there.
The Steelers did lose Kenneth Gainwell to Dallas Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a huge. The guy has 73 receptions. That's a very good pickup. Michael, the people said, what do you think about Michael Pittman, a former 1,000-yard receiver? Now he's been the number one in Indianapolis. He moves over to the number 2 next to DK Metcalf. Does this move the needle for anything for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I mean, it's just the off-season move. There's nothing sexy about this to me. He's been a good receiver. Having another good receiver opposite DK can't hurt. But does that make them better than any way they were this year? Is this going to help Aaron Rodgers stay upright, not be running for his life? Do they have faith in the running back that they have? Or in their running game, which I didn't see that being a traditional Steelers running game last year. So I guess it'll show as the season goes on, but I don't think that come game 9, we're going to be like, oh, man, getting Pittman really changed the needle for Pittsburgh. Boy, that was the best offseason acquisition ever. I don't see us debating that conversation unless he's under 30, and for some reason, Donald will come up with a reason that he's better than any receiver ever before in the history of the game because of his analytics and his toe muscles are fantastic. Something like that would be the only way that we're talking about Pittman this fall as being, the needle-changing acquisition.
Let's keep it real. They could have used Pittman them last 2 games when dumbass DK Metcalf was suspended. You telling me that they could have used him against the Browns and they might have went further in the playoffs if they had some other offensive weapons, but I digress on that. Donald, what do you think about that? Mike Pittman getting traded over to the to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been looking for a number 2 for quite some time.
I think it's a good move, depending on, like Saul said, you're playing at quarterback. I think everything is that, because if you're gonna bring them in without a definitive plan at quarterback, it kind of doesn't really matter. But I do think it's a good move to have a number 2 beside DK if you have a plan at. And I think they need to give Aaron Rodgers a deadline. Like, listen, come April 1st, if you ain't signing, it's over. Because coming in and you gonna commit to us in July. It's just putting you all the way behind 8 ball. And all you're doing is we could have drafted a quarterback, which I think they should look at drafting one anyway. If you or look at playing a backup who they got now. But I think it's a good move. It won't hurt him, but it's nothing like he's not Randy Moss or nothing like that.
I like the move because this is a 1,000-yard receiver playing in a cold weather situation that gives whatever quarterback a way to keep the chains moving. And Mike Pittman has been very underrated for quite some time in the NFL. This guy's been playing with dog shits at quarterback, and he's still putting up 1,000 yards year in and year out. So now, at the very least, I would go ahead and move and part ways with Aaron Rodgers. Mike McCarthy is the first year in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh fans are not going to be very generous to him. They're going to want to win immediately because they are coming off of a playoff run. They're going to be like, if you can't make the playoffs or have a 500 or better record, why did we bring you in? So I think that you need, like Donald said, move forward. Hey, look, if you're not ready by April 1st, man, we're going to have to move on because you can't go into the draft again not knowing if Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback or not. We're getting you the weapons that we think is necessary. Why don't they go back and go get what's the one dude that would play for Kentucky and went to Green Bay? Everywhere it seemed like he went, Aaron Rodgers was at. Remember the Randall Cobb. Go get Randall Cobb out of retirement and get him. Maybe that'll make Aaron Rodgers happy. But
Randall Cobb.
Nevertheless, man, I think it's a solid pickup. But before we get into the question, the Titans picked up Waddell Robertson, the wide receiver from the Giants. They also They picked up John Franklin Myers, the edge rusher from the Denver Broncos. The Bears picked up Devin Bush from the Cleveland Browns, a linebacker. The Carolina Panthers signed a hefty deal for edge rusher Jalen Phillips, 4 years, $120 million. The Bears also got Kobe Bryant at cornerback. The Commanders went and signed edge rusher Owe. He's a double-digit sack guy. The Cincinnati Bengals actually got a free agent to come to Cincinnati. They got Maffa, the edge rusher for the championship Seattle Seahawks. The Cleveland Browns actually was in the market. They would end up getting Quentin Williams, the linebacker, the former all-pro linebacker from the Jets, and Zion Johnson to solidify that offensive line. They got him from the LA Chargers.
Did they thing, didn't they?
Yeah, I like that. They getting stuff that we need. They still got 2 first-round draft picks. Let's see how that goes. But before we get on, Mike, why is Kyler Murray not signed with a team yet?
Well, I think not signing with Atlanta is a little bit surprising to me because he actually going into the weekend, once it was clear he was going to be released, I thought he was going to be in Atlanta. And then with Tua getting released, I think that may have shifted, him around. I think, before it's all over, said and done, he's going to be on the roster. That I'm not worried about him not being on the roster. I just think that the most anticipated move, once Atlanta got rid of Kirk Cousins, you knew they were probably, because of the situation with the quarterback coming off an injury and not sure how you're going to start the season, you knew they were going to pretty much try to get a veteran quarterback, and I guess they went with Tua as opposed to Kyler Murray. But I believe Kyler Murray will be on the roster. It's just a matter of time. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him on Indianapolis's roster.
The rumor is that he's potentially going to be with the Minnesota Vikings, but they said they haven't broke that news yet. Soul on Sports, why do you think that Kyler Murray's not on the roster yet?
Joey, I don't think he's officially been released yet. Okay. I don't think some of these players like Kirk Cousins and Brandon Ayuk, I don't think these guys are going to be officially released till Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think he'll have a problem finding the job, man. The NFL is they crackhead hungry for a quarterback. So even if he can tie his shoes, they'll sign him to a mega deal. So I think he'll get a contract pretty soon. I can see him going to Minnesota because I don't think they're sold on your guy Jody yet. I don't think they're sold on him. Which
we're gonna definitely talk about. That's my cool. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Yeah. Donald, why do you think Kyler Murray is not on the roster right now?
Probably a mixture of what you and Soul said, that not signed yet, and him not being released yet, and he may have something in the works already, but they just can't do it until he's released. So just a mixture of what you and Soul said. Well, both is basically the same statement, just that he not being released yet, and they just waiting until the end. And I wonder what day that they actually told people that he was going to be released, because I know a lot of people probably already had their guy in the back of their head anyway before they found out he would officially be released too.
Okay, there was some key free agents that's still on the market. We got, of course, Geno Smith is still available. Trey Hendrickson. I wonder why Trey Hendrickson is not on anybody's roster yet, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people trying to figure out how to rework his contract. Devin Lloyd, Romeo Dobbs, Tariq Woolen, Julian Jennings, Y.A. Tiller, Bradley Chubb, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuels, David Njoku are some of the top free agents that are still available. Probably by the end of the day, or like Soul said, going into Wednesday when they're quote unquote officially able to sign, we probably see some of these guys also getting contracts. So this is the question that I was thinking about, and I'm gonna go with Mike first on this one because we go back and forth with this, and JJ McCarthy is a part of it. JJ McCarthy he was 6-4 as a starter, 11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, not great, but this is a guy that was taken in the first round, but all of a sudden they keep getting all these guys to potentially come and compete with him at the quarterback position. Him and Shedeur Sanders, I put them in the same boat. It's like Shedeur Sanders won 2 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers that was trying to make the playoffs, as well as the Bengals who play all their starters in Joe Burrow, and they still was able to win those particular games. Why is it, Mike, that quarterbacks like J.J. McCarthy and Shedeur Sanders, since they've been in the league, is already always a veteran that can actually win that job, or they already looking at drafting the quarterback? Because every team, Cleveland and Minnesota, keep saying, we're going to bring in Geno Smith. We're going to bring in Kyler Murray. We're going to bring in somebody to compete with these guys. Why is it that they going to have competition? Jackson Dart and Tyler Shaw have zero competition. They're sold on those guys. Go ahead, Mike.
Because you basically answered the question. The organization is sold on certain guys, and the organizations aren't sold on other guys. I was never sold on J.J. McCarthy when he was playing at that school up north. I mean, I've seen great college quarterbacks that aren't NFL franchise quarterbacks. Now, can J.J. McCarthy play in the NFL? Yes, I think he can do that. I have no problem with him playing in the NFL. I just think he's a serviceable backup, a journeyman, 10 years in the NFL, great career. Then he can go be the head coach at Michigan, when he's 40-something years old. And that'll be his play. He's Jim Harbaugh reincarnate. He just hasn't finished his journeyman NFL career just yet. And that's okay. I watched Danny Warfel. He won a national championship in college, but he threw the ball. I watched Ken Dorsey win national championships. He threw the ball, but you knew these guys weren't going to be franchise NFL quarterback. Matt Leinart, great college quarterback, not a franchise quarterback for the NFL. Some of it's due to going to the right or wrong system. Some of it's due to injury. Some of it's due to a lot of things, but those are guys that we saw those guys be prolific in college. This guy was not prolific in college. He was very good at handing off, and hitting the tight end drag and maybe pitching a post. But I saw a game where they threw the ball 8 times with him at quarterback. And that told me everything that I needed to know then, and everything that I've seen now has not changed my mind and moved the needle. Now, Shedeur, I like the Browns going out and getting an offensive lineman. I think Shedeur is going to get the opportunity to be the number one. If they bring in a Geno Smith or a veteran quarterback, that's very customary in the NFL. You typically want a veteran presence in the locker room, because what you would like to – so quarterbacks are the one position where they don't do a lot of trade secrets, right? NFL quarterbacks are very standoffish with the backups in most cases, right? But you can watch how they work and learn how to be a professional from them. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, veteran quarterbacks that have been in the league have lasted because 9 times out of 10, they got a good work ethic. 9 times out of 10, they've mastered the playbook. They have a knowledge of defenses, this, that, and the other, and they operate a certain way. And that's good for young quarterbacks to have in both situations. But I just think that Shedeur Sanders is more of a talent. He should have never been drafted in the 5th round. He should have been a franchise quarterback for someone to build a franchise around. But we're here now where we are, and it looks to me that the Browns are going to give him whatever opportunity that he's going to get for that starting position.
Okay, so what do you think about that? Why is it never any competition for certain quarterbacks, no juncture of their career, no matter how good or bad they play, but certain quarterbacks, they get competition every 5 minutes?
I think every NFL organization runs their organization differently. I think competition is good at hell, you should have backup field goal kickers on your roster. I think it's very important to have competition, and everyone should feel that pressure. I want you showing up to work. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna take my shit. Yeah, you see this motherfucker right here? If you don't do your job, he's gonna take your spot. And I think the clock is ticking, man, when you draft these quarterbacks, because they pay them so much money, Jody. They need to find out right away, can this guy play? If he can't play, Next year, you know, we got $100 million in dead cap money, like the Miami Dolphins got now, and the Atlanta Falcons are paying Tua minimum wage to play quarterback because the Miami Dolphins are paying him all that money, dead cap money.
You said minimum wage, though?
Yeah, they're paying the minimum wage. NFL money, that's minimum wage.
That's crazy work.
The field goal kickers making more money than Tua making from the Atlanta Falcons this year, which is cool. I think that's great. All that being said,
I don't think it's great.
I think that the clock is ticking. The quarterback makes so much money. I think they need to know right away if these guys can play. If not, they're gonna be stuck with him, and they feel pressure that they have to pay a guy that's not really that good because they don't want to be stuck without a quarterback. It seems like the teams are scared to not have a quarterback, so they'd rather just sign a guy or marry a guy like or female like Dak and not really be in love. So I think they need to stick to, if it ain't working, cut bait, don't sign a prenup, and get you another quarterback.
That's crazy work. Hey, what's up, Eagles Philly? Said, good evening, good brothers. Keep doing your thing. Stay safe and stay blessed. That's our man, Eagles Philly, all the way from Philadelphia. We got Asia in the building. She said, hey to the family. What's going on, sis? And Miss Glenn is back in the building. She said, hello to the Against the Grain sports crew. Hope you're having a fabulous Monday. Hey, Donald, what do you think about that? It just seems like there's no competition for certain guys. Right now, Jackson Dart is sitting in the lap of luxury, and all they're doing is building around this guy. There's no competition. Tyler Shaw, who played a couple good games at the end of the season for New Orleans, there's zero competition. But Shedeur Sanders, J.J. McCarthy, just to name a couple guys, have so much competition, we don't know how many reps they're going to get.
Okay, so the same thing. Okay, like the Giants, they didn't put no pressure behind Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah, none.
That just may be that's just the way their organization operates. And then, and if they're watching football, how I was watching it, Shedeur Sanders and J.J. McCarthy, they done some things last year, and I said, wow, they don't belong on the football field. But they done something, and I'm not saying they can't be good eventually. I'm just not personally sold on them myself. I'm more sold on Shedeur because I believe he has more actual talent. I just don't think he's ready to play in the NFL right now, but I do think he has the talent to get to a level to play. J.J. McCarthy, I don't think is an NFL level quarterback. I just don't think he's got the ability to play in the NFL effectively. So maybe he can be a backup somewhere or something, but I will bring in competition I could over him just because of me watching them and not being sold on either one of the guys, period.
Okay, I'm glad everybody said what they had to say because this is something I was thinking about because I'm like, how can you be sold or not sold on a quarterback that played 10 fucking games? Like, when do guys not even get full seasons to see if we can even see if this guy can fucking play or not? And on top of that, he had 11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and we know that I didn't put in there, he had about 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns as well. I think we got to talk about that, talking about J.J. McCarthy. He's been injured. Is he missing reads? Yeah, just like we got to call him a rookie because he didn't play not one down as a rookie. So my thing is to already put this guy to bed and say that you need to go get another quarterback that wasn't successful where he was at. Kyler Murray he acted like he ripped it up the last 3 or 4 seasons in Arizona. He didn't rip it up the last now his first couple of years, yeah, Kyler Murray was that shit. But the last couple of years, you got benched for Jacoby Brissett. My thing is keep building around the J.J. McCarthy. At least give him one full season. God damn, how are we cutting bait and motherfuckers got a winning record? But the quarterbacks that I named, Tyler Shaw didn't have a winning record, and Jackson Dart didn't have a winning record. Jackson Dart was 4-8 as a starter. And I'm just naming these guys, and you bring in, at the very least, I'm not saying don't bring no competition. I'm all with you, so bring in competition. Make that competition orange sharpens orange. It makes you better. But to sit up here and just say, okay, Jackson Dart is our guy, even though this motherfucker spend more time in the goddamn tent than he does on the fucking field because he wants to play as reckless as he possibly can. Then you go on there, you get him John Harbaugh as the head coach. You go get him Isaiah Likely. You're starting to get him weapons. So y'all think this is the guy. Y'all think Jackson Dart is the guy. Y'all putting everything into it. But then we go to my man Shedeur Sanders, who we fucking know had piss poor talent around him. Yo, he was playing with look at the offensive line. None of those motherfuckers are going to be on the roster in Cleveland next year. Every one of their offensive line is going to be a free agent or going elsewhere. The wide receiver room was the worst wide receiver room in football. He loses his running back, but he still goes out there and he still was able to win 2 games. We can't say Pittsburgh wasn't trying to win because they needed that win to get in the playoffs. And the Bengals started every fucking body from Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase to T. Higgins to Brown. They started every fucking body, and he still won both of those games. And I believe the game against the Bengals was on the road. The other one against Pittsburgh was at home. But now all of a sudden, every time I look up for any quarterback that's available, that's who they are rumored to come to Cleveland to go into competition with Shedeur Sanders. Give these motherfuckers an opportunity to go fuck up for a year like you give everybody else. That's all I'm fucking saying. Go ahead, Mike.
I want to separate these two guys because we got two kind of different dynamics. And that I have a question for you. What pro franchise is the worst place for a quarterback to be drafted? What organization has the reputation for being the worst place for a quarterback to go?
Jets.
I beg to differ on that.
Shit, name a quarterback that Jets drafted, please. That had any success.
In the last 30 years of my life, since Bernie Kosar left Cleveland,
Baker Mayfield has had success. What are we talking? He made the Pro Bowl. Derek Anderson has made the Pro Bowl. What are we talking about?
I have watched them draft quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. None of those quarterbacks stay. None of those quarterbacks succeed. And
so hold on, Mike,
and it's known
that. Name a quarterback in the last 30 years that the Jets have drafted that played better than Baker Mayfield.
Did they draft Pennington?
Chad Pennington.
They didn't draft him. Miami did.
Okay, that's what I think he left.
Did he leave the Jets? Okay, so y'all saying Chad Pennington is better than Baker Mayfield?
Sure, I am.
Why did Baker Mayfield make a Pro Bowl?
They went to the AFC Championship twice, right?
Huh?
They went to the AFC Championship.
They went to the AFC game with
butt fumble.
Yeah, butt fumble.
They just have more success. I mean, it's not a large margin. I mean, it's not. I know that you don't want Cleveland to be the worst
because they're not. The Jets are the worst,
but they are. It's known throughout the league.
The Jets are the worst. Name a quarterback better that the Jets drafted than Baker Mayfield.
If Cleveland has the #1 pick, I would go back to college. Is what most quarterbacks.
No, answer the question. Who has been better for the Jets than Baker Mayfield in all their fucking history? Even adding Joe Namath.
I just said Chad Pennington.
So you're saying Chad Pennington is better than Baker Mayfield?
Yes. I mean, yes.
Okay.
So who did they go to the championship with?
Mark Sanchez.
Did they draft him?
Yeah. Well, he went there because that damn defense was so damn good.
But he had more interceptions than touchdowns.
Right. Great defense, bro.
I'm saying I mean, I don't know. I just was told the thing was about winning.
Baker Mayfield won too.
He won more. He was in the AFC Championship twice, right?
Yeah, he did.
We acting like Johnny Manziel didn't happen. We acting like Tim Couch didn't happen. We acting like I could go through a list.
But we acting like Derek Anderson didn't make the Pro Bowl and have a winning season. We act like Hoyer didn't have a Pro Bowl season. We acting like these guys. Cleveland has sent 3 quarterbacks to the Pro Bowl. And I ain't talking about the Shedeur Sanders shit. I'm talking about 3 legitimate quarterbacks went to the Pro Bowl. Baker Mayfield, Derek Anderson, and Hoyer.
So in light of this, Cleveland is not a destination spot for a quarterback. They're not. They're damn near not a destination spot for an NFL player, but they do exist, and they just not a destination spot for quarterbacks, and they don't have a history of treating their quarterbacks right. You draft Baker Mayfield, the guy turns out to be a Pro Bowler. Hell, your coach tells him, "Hey, kid, I got some good news for you. We drafted you #1, but you're our #2." Which started the downward spiral.
It didn't happen like that.
Baker Mayfield.
It didn't happen like that.
It was on. They had to sit on TV.
Bruh, let me tell you what happened. He came. He had a Pro Bowl season. They went to the playoffs. He tried to. He saw Josh Allen get an extension because that was the same draft. He tried to go out there and play hurt, and that's what hurt Baker Mayfield. He tried to be a tough guy. He should have sat his ass down, but he seen that Case Keenum could run the offense. And was winning games. Baker Mayfield hurt his ass back, and he got hurt, so he was never really healthy.
But if Cleveland had faith in him,
He got hurt against the Arizona Cardinals by J.J. Watt. I watched the game.
If the Cleveland Browns had as much faith in him as the Giants have in Jackson Dart, he would have never got traded or released from there to go anywhere. This is what I'm saying. The organization itself doesn't help itself with quarterbacks. Last year was a quarterback fuckery show in Cleveland, something to the likes we've never seen. You got Deshaun Watson, who he's just gone through his problems and issues, but you got him on the roster. You got Flacco on the roster. You got both of these two young kids on the roster. You got me on the roster. You got Soul on the roster. And then we all just going to battle it out. And everybody's going to play 2 to 3 games all season long. I've never seen an organization do quarterbacking like that in my life.
So you didn't see what the Jets did with this year? You didn't see what they did?
Honestly, other than the Green Bay Packers, who really has done really good at drafting quarterbacks. Green Bay nails it seemed like damn near the last 30 years.
49ers.
Well, I think the Niners do an excellent job.
They do a pretty good job.
Steelers do pretty good.
I think Dallas does an excellent job. I mean, their organization.
It ain't a lot. The Bengals. The Bengals do a hell of a job at drafting quarterbacks.
The Bengals do a good job. I mean,
they drafted Ken Anderson. They drafted Boomer Esiason, Carson Palmer, Andy Dalton, and Joe Burrow. That ain't pretty good.
I said they do pretty good, but I also know they drafted David Klinger, Achilles Smith, and a number of other people that it didn't pan out because at one point in time, the Bengals were running a football professional organization with no quarterback coach.
Yeah, but they get it right when they get it right. I mean, and they get it right more often they get it wrong. Let's keep it real.
Like I said, I think that I just think they had. I can't unsee what I saw. I saw Achilles Smith. I saw David Klingler. I heard about how those guys were drafted, had these great college careers, and then get to the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals don't have a quarterback coach for quarterbacks. And you keep bringing in young quarterbacks. That was crazy.
Honestly, Joe, I do believe Cleveland needs to make a decision. Are they going to let Deshaun Watson be on the roster or not? I mean, I understand he took a restructured this deal or some shit.
Yeah, either,
bro. Why is he still there? I don't understand. I don't understand what they're trying to do here. I'm confused. I'm on Mike a little bit. What are they trying to do here? Do they really want Shador to try to be the starter? They don't trust him. They want Deshaun Watson to be the starter. I don't know. Just cut bait at this point. Somebody.
My thing is for real at this point, since he only got 1 year left on his contract anyway. I think what they're gonna do is try to play it out and see because I mean the guy is only 30 years old. Like Deshaun Watson's only 30 years old at quarterback. Any other quarterback that had the success that he had at 30 years old, they'll be chomping at the bit. And I think what they want to do is see what we got. Is this because if he get beat out by Shador's, which I think he will, they'll just cut him and then they won't lose any money. And then we'll be back to having a ton of money next year. Next year, our cap looks beautiful next year with the Cleveland Browns. So
no, Deshaun Watson got more talent than Shador Sanders.
I just don't think he's gonna beat Shador.
Now, lately he had to show that talent, but he's got more talent. I'm telling you, prime Deshaun Watson, that dude was a problem.
But
he was
see, I think you're looking at. So I think you're looking.
He started getting in trouble and shit. I mean, the massage stuff got him in trouble. But other than that, the kid can play quarterback.
I think you're looking at prime Deshaun Watson.
That's what I'm saying. If they can get back to that, I don't know.
And not this Deshaun Watson. This Deshaun Watson has been injured. This Deshaun Watson's missed a lot of time. This Deshaun Watson may never be the Deshaun Watson that we once saw. It's not saying anything bad, but right now, mentally, he knows the game better than Shador. But it would be very interesting to see whose arm talent is actually better, who's playing with more confidence, who's, today, not his prime, but I'm talking about today. And that's why I think that this is a good competition for Shador.
Jody, they got the blue tint on the sidelines.
Not tell you who they should get rid of.
They need to put a massage table in there. Close that tent up. Make sure my man's good. Go out there and he lead y'all to the playoffs. That's something to say.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
things the NFL needs for success. Dallas needs to reopen the White House and have cocaine. They will instantly become the power that they was in the 90s.
What about the drug test, Mike? No drug test? You want to eliminate that too?
Buddy, whatever they were doing then,
cocaine only stay in your system for a couple of days.
Whatever they were doing then, however it was working out then, all I know is that they was winning. Ever since the White House closed, there's been no Super Bowl championships. Then you got Cleveland, open up the massage parlors and go crazy. Let Deshaun get everything he need, and then it'll be cool. Commanders, change your name back. You instantly contend for, so y'all might win the whole thing. I mean, it's little things that teams could do. But I digress.
They owe me some money. I'm about too much commander shit. They better figure out what the fuck they want to do.
Go ahead, Doc.
I just don't see, like Soul said, I don't see what y'all doing. Because if you bring Deshaun Watson back, I'm pretty sure he's not in the mode in his mind that I'm just about to be a backup. So now you're creating controversy. Shador already got enough controversy around him as it is. So I think you need to make a decision and let it be what it is. I think all that confusion going into camp and all that, I think it just makes a story. I don't like the thing. If you're our guy, you're who I'm rolling with, and it's your year to fuck it up.
But this is the thing. This is the thing, Donald. You got Deshaun Watson, who is because you're going to bring a veteran in regardless. You're going to bring a veteran. You got the veteran already on your roster, and we need to see if Deshaun Watson, who's only 30 years old, if he can fucking still play. You got to understand, if Deshaun Watson can actually fucking play, what are we losing by putting Shador's on the bench? He's a 5th round draft pick with no money invested. If Shador's goes out there, but if Shador's go out there and blow his doors, because it's competition is good for everybody. He go out there and blow his doors, then you can just cut Deshaun Watson, and you don't have no distraction going into the season.
If you're gonna give Deshaun Watson a chance, you might as well cut and get, because the thing is, if you give Deshaun Watson a chance and he does good, you might as well trade Shador now, because if Deshaun Watson does good, does that mean, because you got to think Shador's on a what? What do you get, a 3-year deal?
Yeah, Shador's on a 4-year deal. That's what rookies get.
So that's what I'm saying. If Deshaun Watson comes back and plays good for y'all for the next couple of years, then if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterback. So if he goes out and plays good for these next couple of years, you got Shador, who you just wasted him, and you could have got compensation for him. It's whichever one you don't want, you got to make one your guy and live with it. Because at the end of the day, after 2-3 more years, you got to either pay Shador some money or let him walk, and he never played in a uniform like that anyway.
But the thing about it, he's a 5th round draft pick. Let's keep it in perspective. If he's a 5th round draft pick, you don't really, because I didn't really want to play him last year anyway. I wanted him to sit the whole season. So him sitting is not a bad thing. Ask Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat for multiple seasons. Aaron Rodgers sat for multiple seasons. And those guys were 1st round draft picks.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, which one of them are going to be your quarterback for the long term? Or you going to tell
You're about to find out. That's what the competition's for. So if Deshaun Watson go in this competition and he blows Shador Sanders out the water, Shador Sanders is mature enough to go back to the bench. Deshaun Watson, if he balls out, he fucking balls out. Shit. I mean, that's what we want. If he go out there ball, listen, I'm a Brown. I don't give a fuck who playing quarterback if we win a game. Goddamn, you could put Otto Brown, dig him up and put him at quarterback. I don't give a fuck. I just want to win games. And if it's Shador's, am I a Shador's fan? Yes. Am I a Deshaun Watson fan? Yes. But I'm a bigger fan of winning fucking games. I don't give a fuck who they put at quarterback.
I just think whichever one is the quarterback, the other one should be let go.
I don't know. I can see that if it's Shador's beating out Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson has to walk. I don't think he needs to be the backup. But if Deshaun Watson, what's hurting if you keep a quarterback that's making the league minimum on your bench that could potentially be a starter? And if he come in relief, he can do the same thing like Malik Willis, and then we can get some great compensation off of.
Now, Deshaun Watson is okay with being the backup. That's the thing. Some people are not okay with being the backup.
He's not going to be okay. That's what I'm saying. If Shador Sanders beats him out, you're going to cut him. As soon as you name the starting quarterback, you got to cut Deshaun Watson if it's not him.
If Deshaun Watson was to get cut, who would be signing? Who out there do you see signing him to be their starting quarterback right now?
Nobody.
Nobody.
So it would be better to be a backup with Cleveland, regardless if he wins the position or not, as opposed to being out of the league or waiting on somebody to get hurt so that you can get back that way. I think they need to cut Dylan Gabriel and get his ass on up out the way, because whoever you're going to have, whatever 3 quarterbacks you're going to have, I think I would go with Watson, Shador. And I mean, if you cut another quarterback and you keep Dylan Gabriel, that's really not that bad. But if Shador wins, I want a backup quarterback. Because Donald, you said something that I totally disagree with. Having 2 quarterbacks is a great thing in the NFL. It can save your bacon if you have 2 great quarterbacks on one roster. And I could go through the annals of football history. I know if I say something about, like, you know, the 80s, you'll absolutely lose your mind. But I did see Steve Young and Joe Montana. I did see
Bill Sims and Jeff Hostetler.
I could go countless number of times where we saw
Jim Kelly and Frank Wright.
Green Bay thrived on it. They had Favre, then they had Aaron Rodgers, then they had Love. That's been the succession of their quarterback situation for all practical purposes.
Don't forget about Don Mikowski at first.
Yeah, but you got Romo, and they drafted Dak Prescott, and that situation worked out. I mean, having 2 quarterbacks, and we just saw what happened in Philly. Quarterback gets hurt, backup guy comes in, wins Super Bowl.
Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe.
Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe.
Let me ask you this. Same thing you say, Mike, because I just try to go with whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever a person's logic is. Has it worked? Has it been done more times or not? You named about 10 situations.
Oh,
I think we lost.
You named about 10 situations, and it's probably been 1,000 situations where you had 2 quarterbacks and have none.
Well, here's the thing. I'll let you do that, Matt, because I haven't counted all of the situations where there were and weren't. I'm just giving you examples of where having 2 quarterbacks was very beneficial, when you simply said that having 2, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. I'm like, that's not necessarily a true statement.
Is it working for y'all?
It absolutely. We were tied for first place.
Okay. Good job.
Well, let's go. Let's move gears, man. Let's talk about college basketball, guys, because college basketball, we're going right into one of the greatest weeks is championship week. We got conference kicking off today. Once we get to like Wednesday or Thursday is when the big dogs really play with the teams that got the double and triple buys. We'll start seeing guys that's at the top of their top of the SEC, top of the Big 10, top of the Big 12, top of the ACC. We'll start seeing those guys actually playing. But we got some teams, and I'm going to start with Donald on this one. We got some teams. We're going to start with the team NC State that are on the bubble. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Are they going to have a great showing in the tournament, or they already in? So the first team is NC State. They're 19-12, 10-8 in a tough ACC. Do they get in?
No.
They don't get in? No. Okay. Mike, do NC State get in?
What my team is watching now.
So off the eye test, they should not be getting in. But this, if you follow college basketball, you have to know about the K-Pom and the level 2 and level 3 and level 1 wins and the bullshit that they come up with as to which teams are this and which teams are that. And I think that their K-Pom would have them in the tournament field. I think that they would need to win 2 more games and look better than they have, because they've gotten blown out ever since they beat Carolina without their 2 starters. They've gotten blown out every game after that by the upwards of 20 and 30 points. And that just doesn't say tournament ready to me. Okay. But you got to check out them tier 2 and
quad
tier
1 wins.
Yeah, 2 wins. That's some crazy shit that they done came up with.
Well, basically a quad 1 for everybody out there. I didn't know what it meant, but the quad 1 is basically where they rank when they played that team. So if they won while they were ranked, you get a quad one victory. That's how they try to. Quad two is where you're close to being in there, whatever. So on sports, what do you think about NC State? 19-12, 10-8 in the ACC. Do they get in the tournament?
No, I said the Wolfpack don't make it.
The Wolfpack is not in. I'm agree. I don't think the Wolfpack is going to do enough. The only way they get into the tournament is if they go and win the ACC tournament. I just think that they didn't do enough, and they don't have enough star power down there with the NC State Wolfpack. So I think they will be NIT bound. Solo on sport. What do you think about Cal? 21-10, 9-9, in a very tough ACC. They got some good wins against. I believe they beat North Carolina at home. That was a tough victory for them. They got a couple guys that can play ball out there. They got Scottie Pippen's son that transferred from Michigan out there. So they got some guys that can play. Do you think Cal gets in at 21-10 and 9?
I said the Cal Bears make it in.
You like the Cal? Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, do you think the Cal Bears can get in?
The Cal Bears need to win probably 1 or 2 games in the ACC tournament to make that a solid pick for them. I think they got more work to do. So right now I would say no.
I'm agree with you guys. I'm agree with you, Mike. I don't think Cal gets in. So I think that they it's going to be difficult for them to win 2 games in a tournament, and that's what I think the criteria is, because they're going to have a winning record in the ACC. And if they don't win at least two games in a tournament, that means they'll have a 500 or below record. I don't think that's going to be good enough, and I don't think they got enough key wins to get in there. So I got Cal at home for the tournament. Solo on sports, we got Stanford, who has Okoye is one of the best players, one of the best freshmen in the country. They don't talk about this kid. I think he's 3rd in the ACC in scoring. I think he's top 10 in the nation. They're 20-11, 9-9 in the ACC. Do Stanford get in?
I don't think they get in, Jody, but can you guys explain to me why they have a tree as their mascot? What's that tree mean?
I don't know, because they're the cardinal. They're not in the Cardinals with an S. They're Cardinal.
Yeah, what the hell is the tree called Cardinal? I'm gonna look that shit up.
I thought a Cardinal. I thought that was like a reverend or something like that, like the Pope or something. That ain't right, Mike. What's a Cardinal?
A Cardinal is part of the Catholic Church, but I don't know what. I've never studied their mascot. I see the tree, and I know the Stanford Cardinal, so I don't know.
And see, I thought it was a Cardinal with an S. And one time I posted something, not really paying attention, because I never thought about it like Soul just did and got me thinking and shit. And I put an S, and they're like, they're the Cardinal, not the Cardinals. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for correcting me, because I had no idea that the Cardinal didn't have an S on it. But nevertheless, Mike, do they get in?
No. All 3 of these ACC teams that you just mentioned have to win in the ACC tournament. So if you're asking me today, would they get in? I would say no. But if they were to win a couple games, maybe get to the ACC championship, then yeah, they probably would, because they kind of be on the rise. They'd be at a hot team or whatever. They beat either Carolina or Duke, and that's going to get you some juice anyway.
I said, I know what all 3 of them got in common.
They lost to Duke. Hold on, so
they have their best win is against Carolina.
Hold on, so did you say they in or out? So
I say out.
You say out. Donald, do you think Stanford get in?
Nah, but I agree. I think they all 3 will be like Mike made a good point. I give credit where it's due. That the stuff that they've brought in with the quads and all that may allow them to get in, but watching them play and playing against them, I wouldn't say they deserve to get in.
Only one I'm gonna say out of the 3 teams, I think Stanford gets in because they got star power and they got a guy that can sell tickets. They got a guy that could potentially be a lottery pick in Okoye. I think he's one of those guys that nobody talks about. I seen him have a fantastic 36-point game. I think it was against North Carolina. No disrespect, Mike, but he tore North Carolina's ass for 36.
Whoa.
So, yo, pause, son.
Yeah,
hey, yo, son.
Yeah, that's when Carolina was just giving out career highs. Like, you get it.
But he a damn good player though, and I think that if you're gonna if you want star power, like we said about AJ Stefanski, we know he's not on his level. But if you're gonna put guys that are lead the scorers and they got their team borderline, I think Stanford gets in. I think Stanford's gonna get in out of these 3 teams. All right, let's keep it moving. Michael, the people saying we got TCU. TCU have really came on strong. They started the season good. They had a little problem during the middle, but at the end, they've been playing fantastic, Mike. They're 21-10, 11-7 in a tough Big 12. Did TCU get in?
I think so, because Jamie Dixon is one of the most underrated coaches in all of college basketball. He still has the Pat Riley slick back dude, and people have forgotten about him as a coach since he moved down that way. But he's prepared those guys. They're playing well. They passed the eye test today. I watched them against UC the other day so that I could get a good look at UC is really who I was trying to look at, who is a very uniquely impressive team that must have underachieved during the early part of the year.
Yeah, because UC, they were bad, Mike. They were bad early this season. Bad.
Yeah, but when you look at their roster, when you're looking at their team right now, they look like a tournament team, but their record don't say that they necessarily going to be a tournament team, but they look more the part than like an NC State. NC State's been blown out 3 games. 3 out of their last 4 games they've been blown out. You can't convince me of you needing to go to the tournament when I got this team who's been hot and just lost to a good team in TCU the other day. But the question was about TCU. I think that they get in.
Okay. Donald, what do you think about TCU? They're in the toughest conference in America. They do got 11-7 record in the Big 12. So even if they lose a game, they still have a 3-game. They'll be better at winning percentage 3 games better than they lost. Do you think TCU get in?
I think they get in because their resume is actually one par better than BYU's, and it would be backwards to lead them out. So I don't think they'll let them in just to try to also let BYU in and have an excuse to let them in also. But and even though TCU, I've watched them all year, TCU got a lot of losses. I know it's like no moral victories, but they got a lot of losses that games could have been won. So they probably got 3 games against tough teams that were winnable games. That shows you can't compete with a lot of the teams that are going to be in the tournament. So I think TCU gets in.
That's a very true statement. Remember they had that big lead against Kansas, and then the guy Darren Peterson happened. Remember he hit the 3 free throws and put him in overtime, and he set his ass on the. He went and took himself out the game. So that's a game that they definitely could have won.
Let me ask y'all that, because I was asking somebody. We was talking about. They was talking about him coming out, getting out of the game and stuff. He checks out the game when they up big and stuff. And I was thinking, like, okay, I know a lot of times where guys wanted to stay in the game, blowing a team out to run their stats up and stuff, right? Why is it okay for a coach when y'all up big to pull you out of the game when you want to stay in, but it's not okay for you to come out when y'all up big and you want to come out of the game?
Go ahead, so.
Well, he comes out at halftime. Yeah, y'all got the blue Gatorade. I ain't like this Gatorade. I don't want to play no more today. I don't know, Donald. That's kind of, I don't know. I see your point, but this dude, his timing is terrible. He's definitely going to be a great NBA player because he's already low managing.
If you look at all the games where he actually said, "Get me out of here," they were up like 15 to 20 points. 15
points is nothing in basketball.
Right. That's what I'm about to get at, but I'm gonna let Mike. What do you think?
Donald, do you work for yourself, or do you have an employer?
I have an employer.
You have an employer.
Right.
So you have a supervisor.
Right.
Okay. And so do you ever go tell your supervisor when you're working and when you're not working according to when you decide to work and what job you are and aren't going to do as it pertains to your position?
I'm not Darren Peterson. I don't have a type of leverage. I'm not as important.
Okay.
I'm not as important. I'm not as important to him.
So clearly, he doesn't have that leverage. Is why his ass came off the bench in the last game, as the person in charge is trying to determine what's the direction for the team, being that we've been out of sync for the last 2 weeks and taking some L's, and so we got to try to figure this out as best we can.
With that being said, Mike, I think you need to get your analysis a little up, because he did not start the game because of an authority thing. He didn't start the game because it was senior night and the seniors started like they always do.
There were 4 other guys that could have sat down besides him.
No, I'm saying it's the senior starter. If you got 5, it's the senior starter on senior night.
I'm saying this.
So I'm saying you're trying to make a point that where you're trying to say that somebody has some authority to make him sit down. No, they didn't have that. It was senior night, and then they like if you watch.
Well, clearly he had the authority to make him sit down because whether it was senior night or nuts night, he decided down when the coach said you're not starting. Period.
I don't know about that one, but my thing is what you said, Donald. I look at it from this perspective as a head coach. Have been a head coach. I know I was only a JV coach, but I can see what you can't see as a player. So if a 15-point lead, some 15-point leads ain't created equal. So if I see that we got a 15-point lead, but it was just 18, well, actually it was just 22 just a couple minutes ago, they went on a 7-0 run. I don't need to take you out the game. I need to find a way to stop the bleeding. That's why it's a difference. You see what I'm saying? That's why I think the coach, you need to let the coach the game. If I pull you out the game, because I'm a fair coach, and I know a lot of fair coaches out here. I'm a fair coach. If you need to be pulled out the game, I'll take you out the game and we up, and I think the lead is safe. But I don't want to take you out and then we got to scrap and claw just to win that victory. So that's why I think it's different from when he asked to be pulled out the game than when the coach pulls him out the game.
What great player wants to come out of a game? I've never seen this type of behavior before. I've never seen a great player, hey coach, just take me out. No, I've never seen that. This is odd.
But his thing is, his biggest concern is not being the greatest player. His biggest concern is business.
Okay, so let me ask.
Your business is basketball. Your business is basketball. We need to play basketball. Right. Say this is business. You got to play basketball.
His business was signing the contract and saying he would play half the game.
I'm with you, Don, but he's there to play basketball, right?
Right, but I'm saying he's there to play a half of a basketball game. That's what's in the contract.
Okay, Donald, but you just say you have a ball. So what if you leave half a day every day? Your boss ain't gonna like this shit, right?
If I become important enough to his business, they'll let me.
True. Let me ask you this, Donald. I think the people want to know this, or at least the people that I know want to know this from you.
Go ahead.
Do you think that sports teams need coaches?
Football.
I don't know, Donald.
I believe in basketball. If you got the best players, you're going to win. If you don't have the best players, you're going to be sorry.
But do they need, even with that, you got the best roster in the world. Does that roster need a coach, or should they just have no coaches and just individually figure it out?
Yeah, they need a coach for like everybody else.
So the Lakers team of the early 2000s, before they got Phil Jackson, they couldn't win shit. They got Phil Jackson, and all of a sudden they couldn't lose. So Phil Jackson had nothing to do with that. It was just the talent.
They never didn't have Phil Jackson in the early 2000s. We got to 2000. They never not had it.
He talking about
before.
He said before.
McCollum was airballing shots in the playoffs. But that nature.
Right. And I don't think Phil Jackson did anything to make Kobe be able to hit the rim.
This is hold on. This is the thing, so that I will argue on that. Is this goes back when I say about the Tom Brady effect in Tampa Bay. Everybody think, well, Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and all of a sudden they became a Super Bowl champion. No, they brought Jason Pierre-Paul. They brought in Antonio Brown. They brought Ron Gronkowski. They got 2 offensive linemen that wasn't there. They went and got they drafted Antoine Winfield Jr. They went and added pieces. Now Tom Brady was the cherry on top to get it. That's the same way with the Lakers. Everybody think, well, when Phil Jackson got there, it just made the Lakers a better team. They also got Glenn Rice. They also got Horace Grant. They also got Rick. They started putting Rick Fox. Remember, Rick Fox used to play for the Boston Celtics. They also got Mitch Richmond. They also got Ron Harper. So it was other guys that came to that lineup to make the Laker dynasty work. They drafted Derek Fisher. It wasn't just, oh, Phil Jackson got there with the same team, because they got rid of Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones during that time.
And let me ask you this. After Shaq left and they had a couple bets, what did he forget? Like, what did Phil forget?
What do you mean?
Like, did he lose any knowledge, or they were just bad because the players are gone?
Well, you cannot say the coaches don't add anything to a team. Coaching is very important, because we'll blame the coaches. We're quick to fire them when the team don't succeed. But now we're going to say that they're not important. I can't go with that.
They just get fired because the stars have power, and it's either you or the star or the coach go.
So you say everyone there should be player coaches like Bill
Bill
Russell.
Russell.
Should be
No,
it shouldn't be
I think
no actual head coach. Is that what you're saying, Dom?
no, I think you need coaches for the rest of the guys. Like I do it. The stars, we're gonna do this, and then the rest of the guys who like nobody.
Somebody got to check these egos, man. Maybe some of the NBA players got some huge egos.
They
I
always
mean,
have.
so Kim, I just get a straight answer to this question. Do you believe that? Because I think you're saying yes in football. Do you believe that that basketball teams don't need coaches?
Yeah, they need a coach, Mike. Yes, they need a coach.
Okay, all right.
All right,
Now,
let's get back to we got to finish up.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
It's all on sports.
Yes, sir.
The TCU get in the tournament.
Well, you know I'm pulling for the Texas team. I'm gonna say yes, sir.
I'm gonna agree. I think TCU definitely gets in the tournament. I think that they got Punch down there. I think he's a primetime guy that can put up, 15 and 8, and you need that down the stretch. And I think they got good guard play. They don't turn the ball over a lot. And then, like Mike said, Jamie Dixon is a very underrated coach in this league and been for quite some time. Donald, we got Central Florida 2010, 9-9 in the Big 12. Do they get in?
No, I don't think they get in.
Okay. So what do you think?
No, I don't think they get in either.
Mike.
I think they like the Stanfords of the world. They need a couple wins to get in. They get those couple wins, they very well might be in, because that name team has been mentioned. I'm not sure what their K-Palm looks like, but if they get 2 wins, yes. If they don't get 2 wins, no.
I don't think Central Florida gets in. Even if they have a good showing in the tournament outside of winning the Big 12, I don't think they get in, man. Johnny Dawkins have done a great job down there in Central Florida, but I don't think they get in. Young Chris said we blame the coaches, but in basketball we can get a good batch of players and go win, even with a bonehead coach. 2015 Cavaliers, a great example. Bron, Kyrie, Kevin Love made a great team for a deep playoff run. Only thing held them back from winning, we had a bad injury in David Blah, and they was a bad coach. But I think that Golden State had something to say about them losing as well. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
And they got a bad coach. So
you hate Steve Kerr. I don't know what's fun.
Well, let's keep
Hey, Steve Kerr is a little overrated. I agree with you on that, Don. I'm not a big Steve Kerr fan either.
It don't matter. You see how they play now? Go ahead, though, Jody.
Okay. So on sports, the Ohio State Buckeyes 20-11, 12-8 in the Big Ten. Been playing fantastic down the stretch. Big victories against Purdue, and I believe they beat Iowa too. I want to say down the stretch. Do you think that they get in? So,
yes, I think your Buckeyes get in. They got a winning conference record. I said the Buckeyes get in.
Okay, Mike, what do you think? Ohio State gets in?
I think so. I kind of think it would help them out a lot to solidify their shit to win a couple games in the Big Ten tournament. But I think they would still get in, even if they lose after the first round.
Okay. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I think the Purdue win. I think they was on the bubble, and the Purdue win put them in the tournament. So I do think Ohio State get in.
Yeah, I definitely think Ohio State gets in. I think they have not been in a tournament, I think, in like 4 years. So I think that and this is going to help recruiting and Diebler to keep his job. I like Diebler. I don't know why everybody's calling for this guy's head. And this is his first true full season. He had Bruce Thornton. Finally, Bruce Thornton is finally going to see what the NCAA tournament life is about. This guy stayed 4 years, played fantastic basketball. He's out of Georgia. Bruce Thornton, man, that's what college basketball is all about. He will be on somebody's NBA roster next year. He probably won't get drafted, but he'll make somebody's roster. Ohio State gets in. Michael the People saying Iowa, who I thought was a shoo-in 2 weeks ago, but I'm not as sure that 20-11, 10-10 in Big Ten play. Do the Iowa Hawkeyes get in?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Don.
I agree. I've been agreeing with Mike a lot today. It's crazy, but no. I agree with Mike. But they got to get, I think, 2 wins in the Big Ten tournament to get in.
Okay. So what do you think?
I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I think Iowa gets in regardless if they lose in the first round or not. The reason being is because they do have a lot of quad one victories. They played everybody tremendously tough in the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten is a very good conference. They're middle of the pack in this conference. I think Iowa gets in regardless of what they do in this tournament, and I think they get in. I think Iowa gets in for sure. Donald, we got Akron. Akron is 26-5, 17-1 in the MAC. The only loss, of course, is to the Miami of Ohio Red Storm. Can they get in now? These are at large, not winning the tournament. Can they get in with an at large bid in Akron?
At large, no way in hell, because you got a team in the same conference that's undefeated who they're trying to debate. If they don't win the conference, they might not get in. Which I think they will get at large. But I'll be damned if they get two. If they get now, of course they win. If Akron wins the tournament, they automatically get in. But if they don't win the tournament, there's no way in hell they get in.
No way. Okay, 17-1, 26-5.
Not the resume. I'm just looking at how they're trying to play Miami, and they're undefeated in the same conference. So I definitely can't see them putting the second place team in.
Okay. What do you think? So do you think Akron got a chance and a snowball chance in hell getting in the at large?
Yeah, it's gonna be cold in hell when they're making it. I got Akron getting in.
Ooh, now this not tournament. Now you just said they just gonna get in.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's very bold. Michael, the people tell me, you think Akron has a chance to get in at large with their resume?
I think Soul got some ribs cooking and just wants to end the show because there's something else behind it. He doesn't do that.
I'm in the house, dog. How about cooking ribs?
Maybe they're in the smoker. I don't know. Maybe they're in the smoker or something. I don't know. But that take is, let's get this shit over with kind of take.
That's not true, brother.
I don't see, unfortunately for the MAC, I don't see them getting two at large bids in. So if Miami wins that tournament, then there'll be no other team from the MAC getting in, even though they may be very deserving. Mm-hmm. I think they'll be NIT bound unless they win that tournament. And
okay,
Donald, what he's saying is I'm not sure if the committee or other basketball people are debating Miami of Ohio other than Bruce Pearl.
Right. Okay. My thing is
Bruce Pearl.
As crazy a take as Soul said, I just think that Akron has a good chance because we know only team that can beat them in that tournament, in that conference, is the Miami of Ohio team. And we know for them to play each other will probably have to be the championship game. That would mean that Akron will have over 28 victories on the season. And even if they lose to Miami of Ohio, they would still be 20-2 in conference, and they'll be 28-6 overall, or 29-6. I think Akron can sneak in and be a 12 seed, and have a play-in game at UD, which they're close to home because Akron is in Ohio, so it wouldn't be a far drive for the Akron fans to come down to UD. So I think they get in. It's crazy. I'm crazy. I'm with you, so on this one, because I just think at some time when you got guys that's been there for 4 years and they made chicken shit out of chicken salad out of chicken shit. I just think Akron, this will bode well for college basketball going forward if they got an at-large bid.
So Mike, is Jody smoking ribs too? Because he said the same thing I said.
Jody put some effort into that. You just said, give me effort.
We still said the same thing. Mine was in text message form. We said the same shit.
Or maybe you gave him the clip notes. I don't know.
Hey, Key Minks said, my guys, what's good, everybody? What's good, Key Minks, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. What's good, my guy? Now, this one is where we get into SEC play. SEC is looking to get 12 teams into the tournament. So if they get 12 teams in the tournament, so that would mean the Kentucky Wildcats will be one of those 12 teams. They're 19-12, 10-8. They just took a devastating loss to Florida at home. And Florida is the hottest team in college basketball. I get that. If not the hottest, one of the hottest. That's a difficult out. They are the returning champs. But did Kentucky do enough this season to get in?
Man, people going to think they can get in because they are Kentucky. I'm going to say no, they don't make it. I don't think they've done enough this year to make the tournament. I'm going to say no.
No? Okay. Mike?
I'm going to agree with Soul.
Whoa.
Wait, what is all this? What is all this kumbaya bullshit on the show? Everybody agreeing.
Mike, I'm gonna send you a rib sandwich, dog.
Soul is back.
All this kumbaya bullshit. Donald, what do you think?
I'm gonna make it even worse. Nah, I don't think they get in. I
What
just
the
don't.
fuck?
Kentucky, it's just not real Kentucky. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't even think the name can change it because I don't. Pope.
Jody, you holding the camera, dog?
I just don't think Pope don't have the same pull as Calipari either. Which we didn't talk about Arkansas, but they might have the same resume. But Arkansas, I think Arkansas going over them. Pope don't have no pull for real like that.
No, Arkansas record is good. They are in the top 25. They ain't gonna have no problem getting in the tournament. I think Kentucky gets in, guys. Listen, I'm gonna go against the grain. Y'all see the shirt. I am the host. The reason being, they lost a tough game to Florida, and they fought back in that game. They fought back. They got a bad call by the referee. The guy was clearly out of bounds. The momentum was going Kentucky's way. The guy tried to jump and do a jump pass. His foot came down on the line. They missed that call. End up getting a foul call, which he hit the free throws. They end up going up 7 with about 30 seconds left, where if they don't get that foul call, they get the ball. It's a one-possession game with about 25 seconds to go in the game. That's against a Florida team that right now is hitting on all cylinders. Kentucky still winning 10 games in the SEC is very tough. I think Owe is a talent. He's an all-SEC player. I think they want to see him play. Aberdeen is a guy that just came off a championship with Florida. Garrison been playing pretty solid. This is not your typical Kentucky team, but I think they're good enough to get into this tournament, guys. I think they're good enough, just good enough. They'll probably go in as a 10 seed, but I can see Kentucky getting in. Now, we're not used to seeing Kentucky as no fucking 10 seed, but I can see them getting in at the 10 or even 11 seed, but I think they do get in, guys.
So you're telling me they're going to be at UD?
No, I don't think they're gonna have to do a play-in. I think if Kentucky get in, I don't see a play-in. Mike, I don't think they're gonna have to do the play-in, but I do got Kentucky getting on one of those lines as a 10, 11, or even at the crazy 12 seed. I don't think no 5th seed are gonna want to see Kentucky if they fall to a 12 seed. Ain't no 5 seed gonna want to see Kentucky. I'm telling you, they're not gonna want to see that shit. Last but not least, Soul on Sports. I asked you this question. We're talking about the Texas Longhorns. Sean Miller's first year as a head coach down there. They're 18-13, 9-9 in conference. Swain is from Columbus, Ohio. Swain is the backbone of that team. Does Texas somehow get into this year's tournament? So,
very disappointed what they put on the floor this year. I'm gonna say they don't make it. They don't deserve to make it. Africa can have their spot. Did you see the Lady Longhorns? And that's a basketball team. You saw they beat them Lady Cocks yesterday. They beat them Lady Cocks. The Lady Cocks
they beat the Cocks?
They beat the shit out them Lady
So the
Cocks.
ladies beat their Cocks.
Yeah, they sure did, boy. I was impressed. Anyway, no, the Texas men's basketball team does not deserve to make the 64. So no, they don't make it.
Okay. Michael, the people said, does Texas have a Longhorn chance to get in?
The most important thing happening in Texas between now and April during this tournament is spring ball. That is going to be the most important thing happening. So get your Arch Manning t-shirts ready for the preseason #1.
Mike, you're not going to disrespect the ladies softball team. They just won a championship last year, bro. They're defending champs. So we want to talk about Texas. That's what we do, baby. We won championships now.
Well, not in football, but okay.
All sports matter on Against the Grain Sports.
I was really just putting it in perspective. Usually I say this for the Ohio State program because usually in Ohio at this time of the year, the most important thing that's happening is spring ball. But this year it looks like the men's team is saying, no, we're going to be around. There's a chance, but in Texas, no dice.
Hey, Mike, he's saying that, like, when they be like, do Black Lives Matter? And then it's that one guy that say, no, all lives matter.
All lives matter.
Yeah, we
already know that.
Donald, do you think Texas got a chance to get into this year's tournament at an 18-13?
Mike, I thought you was gonna say the most important thing around was the rodeo going on in Houston.
Well, they be jumping down there, bro.
It is, but no, Texas. I think broke Texas back the other night when they lost to Oklahoma, and it was crazy. Oklahoma did their best to try to let them win the game. They had like 6 points, and they fouled on the three twice, and Texas still lost the game. I think that put the nail in the coffin for Texas.
The only crazy thing about Texas is they're still 9-9 in conference play. And I think that's kind of impressive on the resume of teams that they had to go against, and the teams that, like the Texas A&M. Texas A&M, I think, gets in. That's why I ain't put them on this list. But, playing against Texas A&M, and you still got Florida in this conference. And I think when you can go 9-9 in the conference, it's probably going to get 12 teams into the conference. That's how I look at it. Like, how good is the conference overall? That's why they even made this list, because look how good this team is. In the average, 9-9 is pretty good when you got 12 teams that's gonna make the tournament. But I just don't think it's enough. I think next year Texas will probably get better recruits with Sean Miller down there. Sean Miller's a hell of a coach, so I will say, man, Sean Miller's a hell of a coach. So I think that Texas will be at home this year. Actually, they will be in the NIT, the not invited tournament. So
they don't. For some reason, they don't put enough effort into their basketball program. I don't get it, man. It's just. I don't know. It's weird.
I think the worst thing they did, guys, and y'all probably don't. I think when they hired Shaka Smart was one of the worst things they did. I didn't like the Shaka Smart hire. I think Shaka Smart has not been doing what he should have been done. He should have stayed at VCU, in my opinion. I understand you want to always get the bag and go, but Shaka Smart ain't did shit since he left VCU, in my opinion. But
they remember they had Shaka Smart, then they had Charlie Strong down in Texas at the same time. They were like, they smart and strong. Both of them got fired within 2 or 3 years.
I don't know what the fuck I don't know what they were thinking with Charlie Strong. And I ain't even trying to be funny. Charlie Strong struggled at Louisville. Let's ask this question. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna go around the horn. Mike, I'm gonna start with you. What's up with these coaches not having success at the place they departed, but all of a sudden every team in the country or even in pro ball seem to be salivating over coaches that ain't even successful where they came from? Talk to me, Mike.
Well, hell, my Falcons just showed you, did you a solid. I mean, this happens. Somebody knows somebody. Somebody played for somebody back in the day. His father is now the VP. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that go on. And guys, get opportunities. We do have, whether we like it or not, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Allow for more black coaches to get chances, and I'm all for black coaches getting chances, but I don't think I would ever have hired Randy Shannon to be Miami's head coach. I wouldn't have hired Strong. I look at a guy's face, and I don't see a person that's not a person I would follow. You can see it in some people's face. He's got a face, an unfollowable face. And Charlie Strong, there's nothing that, for me, now, he might be a great defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
He might be a great position coach, but there's nothing about his posture, nothing about his demeanor that says that he should be the leader of young men. And there are other coaches that I felt like that, white, black, whatever the case may be. You can just see a leader of men, and then guys that just don't have it.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think about that, Donald? Like, these coaches don't even have success where they coming from, but they can't wait for them to get to this organization. Then when they find out they ain't shit there, you want to blame it on them. Who should we really be blaming, man?
I think I didn't play the lottery today, but maybe I should have, because I'm gonna agree with Mike again. It's things that's going on, like somebody knows somebody, which is the most important thing is the relationships. But what I also want to say is I think that a lot of people in power who do these hires, they all really want more credit than what they get. So they want to go out and make this hire to say, I did that and he was because of me. He did that over there, so he did that. Say he like Shaka Smart. He did this at VCU, so now with these Texas resources, he probably can get this elite talent and then do that and turn into that. But I think a lot of these guys want to say that they made this hire and it was because of him. But I think the most important thing they want to do is.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think, so? Because you've been down there with Charlie Strong and Shaka Smart, and who was the coach before Sean Miller? It was another. Y'all had another
The
big
guy,
guy.
the guy that he was beating his wife, and they fired him because he was an old A&M coach.
Yeah.
They hired him, and he got accused of beating his wife, and they got rid of him. It was a shit show with that Texas basketball program. But I think a lot of times, like I agree with you guys, you got to nail the interview. I think if you impress the right people, if you know the right people, you can get the job. Charlie Strong was like the complete opposite of Mac Brown. Mac Brown, he was a cool uncle. You can smoke weed in front of Uncle Mac. You can do all type of shit. But they want to do the complete opposite. They brought Charlie Strong in. We got a bald-headed brother. He got to be tough compared to Mac Brown. It just didn't work out. You got to be the Texas football. You got to be not only a head coach. You got to be like the damn CEO. It's a bunch of bullshit you got to do. I'm pretty sure Ohio State's the same way. Besides just being a head coach, and I think he just was not a good fit. He was in over his head.
He said that young Chris said it was Chris Breen. He said with Roman Anderson hitting the moon shot added on to that. He talking about the world football. I mean the world baseball.
Oh, the Texas. yeah. US.
Now my thing is I never understood this shit. I'm gonna go as recent as Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss coming to LSU. Like you had a coach in Brian Kelly that was 34-14 in the SEC, having that tough gauntlet of a schedule. His only 4 losses this year were teams that was in the top 15 or top 10 at the time. To me personally, I don't understand that, guys. I don't particularly understand why is it that you go salivate over a coach that, first of all, you left that organization for more money. So guess what? That's like you fuck with a chick that's cheating and then you wife her up. Like, how you gonna wife the chick that's cheating, nigga? She cheated on her dude. She gonna do the same fucking thing to you. You fucking dummy. Treat her like she needs to be treated. And what I mean by that, everybody listening, you fuck her, you get the fuck on. I'm sorry, I said this against you.
No, you're right.
I'm keeping it real. You fuck her, you give her hard dick and bubble gum and keep the shit moving. You don't wipe her up. And that's what they.
Hey, Joe, you give her the hard dick after the bubble gum, during, or before? When you give her the
I'm gonna give her the bubble gum after I get a hard dick because I don't want bubble gum on my. Anyway,
you got the chicken before the egg, baby. We got.
Hey, you know how that goes. But on some real shit, guys, it's like I'm really at like look at Lane Kiffin, not Lane Kiffin, but look at what's the motherfucker out there at USC? Who's the motherfucker out there? I can't even think his name.
From Oklahoma.
Yeah, what's his name?
I'm not Riley.
Mike, what's his name?
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln
Riley ain't won shit. No. Everywhere he goes, he has piss poor defenses. I don't give a fuck how many Heisman Trophy you got. You got like 4 Heisman Trophy and 0 fucking conference championship wins. I mean, titles. You don't even got conference titles. Did Oklahoma win the title while he was there? I don't think so. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
No.
I know he ain't won shit since he got to USC. And I bet if he left today, I bet if Lincoln Riley says, you know what, I'm stepping down at USC, I bet he'll get 10 calls from 10 major colleges, and some will be the pros to come take over their organization. I don't understand how you keep giving motherfuckers that ain't did shit in the places they left. You keep giving them bigger contracts. Mike just said it. Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski got 8 victories in 2 years. So that means he was 8-26 in 2 years. And you can't say you just was left without no fucking talent because you got Myles Garrett, you got Denzel Ward, you had talent. You just didn't put the talent together. Because I think if you put any other coach with that team, I think that they might have did better in Cleveland. And we about to find out. But nevertheless, man, that was my question. Man, I just wanted to know. That was off topic. But to get right back on the topic so we can get you guys out of here, Michael the People Champ, who are your 4 number 1 seeds going into this tournament next week?
Florida, Arizona. Hold on one second.
Go ahead and say it, Mike. You're going to have to say it at some point, man. I know you don't want to, but you got to say this.
Hold on. I got 4.
Okay, I wonder if one of the 4 is gonna be who you need to say.
Gonzaga.
Your real daddy. Say your real daddy name.
And Michigan.
Wow.
He said Gonzaga.
Well,
I chose your daddy instead.
well, I'm gonna say, hey, well,
okay.
if Gonzaga need to get out there, we just take them to play at Princeton or West Dayton Boys Club or something, and they'll be done for.
Mike is wild. Donald, give me your 4 number 1 seeds.
Arizona, Duke, Florida, and I'm gonna go Michigan or UConn. If they both win their conference tournament, I'll put Michigan over UConn. But I think Connecticut has a better chance of winning their conference tournament because Michigan has better opponents to play. So if Michigan doesn't win it, I would put them on the 2 line. So if that's the scenario and both of them win, I'm going Michigan over UConn.
But UConn didn't even win their they lost to St. John's as the regular season. I'm just saying regular season.
Yeah, but I know if they win a conference tournament, I'll bump them back up there. But I do think Michigan. I would put Michigan over them. But if they don't win a conference tournament, I think it'll be something like that.
Okay. So give me your 4.
I'm gonna go Duke, Arizona, Florida, and Michigan.
I'm gonna change mine slightly. I got Duke, Arizona, Michigan. I think they're shooing. Florida can't escape their 5-4 start. We can't just say, "Oh, they're playing great." They started the season at 5-4. So I'm going to take Florida and put Florida on the number 2 line, and I'm gonna put Houston on the number 1 line.
Wow.
I'm gonna put the Houston because Houston has done it year in and year out. This year they played the toughest and stiffest competition in the Big 12. This happened to Arizona, just happened to be in the same conference as them. And I think Big 12 is good as I think the Big 12 is good enough to get 2 number 1 seeds. Florida, the SEC was good, but I think they were the weakest of the 4 conferences this year. I think the SEC was the weakest of the 4. This is my opinion. Even though they're gonna get more teams, they got more teams that can get in. I think they still get 11 teams in. I just think that they getting a lot of mediocre teams. Not gonna say mediocre teams, just average, a little bit better than average. So I got Houston because I believe you put Houston in the SEC. I think Houston wins the SEC outright without a problem. So.
Let me ask y'all something. As far as just the conference alignment, okay? So I know like you got the Power 4 basically in football. So is the Big East not a Power 5 conference because it's basketball? I know it's not nothing in football, so I'm just wondering just about the alignment. I just don't know how it's. You see what I'm saying?
Well, they're still considered one of the power comp. Big East, even though they're not in football, but the Big East, ACC,
Big 12,
the SEC, and the Big 12, I think those are still the 5. If we talk about basketball, I think they're the 5. And then teams that are close conferences, like Atlantic 10 is really close. Donald, I would say and I would even give the MAC conference a little bit more credit in basketball than what I do in football.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like I know like it's just because I know it's like the Power 4. That's how I didn't know if the NCAA actually qualified them as a Power 5 because of the lackluster football. I just didn't. I just didn't know how the alignment was.
You got to think about it. Donald, half the teams that's playing in basketball, they got football teams. St. John's ain't got a Villanovas in Division 1A.
Right.
Creighton ain't got no football team. I don't think they do. UConn play independent, so I don't even know who they even got in basketball.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So they still qualified.
Hey, King Mink said, Mike, you a cold motherfucker not putting Duke on your line.
I stand on business.
Matter of fact, where's your shirt at, Mike?
Well, first off, I don't have a shirt. Donald would have to.
Okay.
It'll be gifted. And listen, the crazy part about it is he got a while. Like it is no rush. He has a while. So it's not like it's today or tomorrow. You know.
I mean, I don't have it's onesie. I mean, it's nobody has an advantage over nothing. We beat them at home. They beat us at home. Move on.
It's crazy work. It's crazy work out of Mike down there. Yeah, hey, man, great show. We're going to get our parting gifts before we get out of here, man. I do want to say, hey, listen, before I even get to anything, man, big shout out to Against the Grain Sports as a whole. Our last show did 102,000 views, guys. 102,000. We have never exceeded over 100,000. Matter of fact, we had never went over 36,000 views until yesterday, man. Big shout out to everybody, man, that's out there. Hey, man, y'all doing y'all thing. We can't do it without y'all, man. We about to be syndicated, and we not going to forget about the ones that's been the day ones that been following Against the Grain Sports for sure, man. We never going to forget y'all, man. We going to make sure that y'all comments are going to be the number one comments. All the ones, Ashley, thank you. Light Bright, she make the show brighter every time she get on here. And I mean, King Minks, Eagles Philly, Asia, Miss Glenn, Kathy. I remember Kathy. I think she lost us when we lost our YouTube channel, and a couple of other people that used to be on here. I hope they can find their way back with our new channel on YouTube. Young Chris, man, you already know that's I'm like the cool uncle. He can't do shit around his dad. He can do it around me. Hey, when I come to Texas, never mind, we'll talk.
I guarantee you he would love kicking it with me.
Hey, yeah, hey, man, his knowledge is crazy, man. His knowledge is crazy on this guy. I love it, man. But yeah, man, it's some people that I did name, and no disrespect, saying. I just can't think of everybody right now, so I don't want to get into naming names, but we want to thank everybody out there for really looking out for Against the Grain Sports, man, for sure, man. But before we get out of here, man, let's get our final thoughts, man. And I'm gonna go with you, Donald, first. Give me your final thoughts. We get out of here.
My final thought, I'm gonna go local. Sorry to leave you out, so but I'm gonna go local. And Chaminade Julienne girls are playing in the state Final Four Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. They have two freshmen, all GC. One of them actually won Player of the Year, and two of them first team all GCL as freshmen. Feel like that's a big feat. So just wishing them some luck Thursday morning in the state semifinals. It's Thursday morning, 11 o'clock at the nursery.
That's Nicole's daughter, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I went to school with Nicole at Kaiser and at Belmont, man.
Yeah, that's my brother's sister. So.
Yep, that's right. So big shout, good stuff, man. Also, we want to add too, big shout out to Trotwood advancing, the Trotwood Rams. Also, big shout out to Northridge, the hellified comeback they had against Tav. And so we leave you out, but good. They got a kid for Northridge that's one of the best. What's his name, Donald?
Keontae. His last name Smith. I know his first name is Keontae for sure.
I think it's Keontae. It might be Keontae Smith. Look him up. He got a brother play on the same team. He's one of the top. He's a 4-star recruit. What he only a junior? He's only a junior, right? Sophomore. Oh, so you're gonna hear big things out of this kid, man. So big shout out to them. Also, who else, Mike? Who else is advancing?
I believe the Fairmont girls have advanced. Wayne has advanced to the regionals. There's somebody I don't, and then I stopped there because I don't know what Centerville and Northmont situations worked out to be.
Centerville won and Northmont won. Shout out to Alice Spears from the neighborhood, head coach at Northmont. But yeah, Northmont won, and it's. Yep, I think it. So basically, Dayton pretty much swept the district for it.
Not to mention, big shout out to my man Anthony Parker getting Coach of the Year. He took over. So check this shit out on Sports. Okay. He took over the West Carrollton Pirates. I think they had 5 wins in like 10 seasons or some shit. Like, I'm not even joking. He took over this team about 3 years ago. And he has turned them into a perennial powerhouse over there, man. Big shout out to my man. He was on my basketball team when I played in the 8th grade with Radcliffe. He was Mike's quarterback at Jefferson.
What's crazy too? I don't know if he still is. He was the head football and basketball coach at the school at the same time.
No, he's no longer the head football coach.
Yeah, Jarrell Freeman.
I said that's a lot of time for you. I know for like a year or so he was though.
Yeah, but he didn't do as well in football. He had to relinquish one of them hats. But big shout out to Anthony Parker, man, for sure, man. I remember he was coaching with the Pilots I was one of his coaches on his coaching staff, and he really came a long way, man. And you
No.
get mad love from Against the Grain Sports.
I've known that guy since he was like 14 years old.
Yeah, that's when he.
So
That's when he was on my team, not getting no burn. I'm just gonna throw that out.
It's something when it's really something that when you live long enough to where the guys that played for you are coaches themselves. So I went to their last the tournament game that they lost. I was at the game, sat behind the bench. We had a little, moment between the two of us so that he knew that I was there. Because it's great to go support one of my former players in their endeavors.
Also, Jason, he not listening. I don't know. Did Peanut advance?
Peanut, they pick one. Pick one.
So my nephew, both of my nephews have advanced. So Peanut, Kristen Coleman for Pick Central has advanced to, I believe, the Final Four in basketball.
No, they got
the
regionals. It's the regional. So you got 4 more games to win it.
4 more games, and then also my other nephew Trey for Wayne. He's a sophomore. He made the tournament roster, so he's a part of that Wayne who upset Cincinnati Moeller. They upset Cincinnati Moeller. All right, but good stuff, man. Michael, the people chat, man, give me a final thought as we get out of here.
Well, today's final thought is going to be the magic of March Madness. I just love it. I kind of started talking about it during football season when we were talking about the small schools and them shouldn't be able to get into that tournament. But then basketball, I always show you an example of if these kids play Division I basketball, they don't have the high level NIL deals. They still have to put in that same amount of time, same amount of work as Division I athletes. And so it just warms my heart every year. Just like a couple minutes ago, Furman was the 6th seed, East Tennessee State University was the 1 seed. Furman pulls out the victory, and the kids go crazy. I remember having friends that played for Wright State 20, 30 years ago when Wright State made the NCAA tournament, how big that was, and just how much it means to these schools. That team's not going to win the tournament, but just to get in the tournament, have that prize, have that nugget from winning your conference tournament is really what college sports is really all about.
No doubt. Good stuff, Mike. My man, Jarrell, Soul on Sports Glenn, man, give me a final thought as we get out of here.
Final thought, man. Dan Hurley, the head coach of UConn's done a great job there. But of late, man, his blood pressure got to be high. He be flipping out. He's hell bent on being the new what's the guy from Indiana?
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight. The other day, man, he got ejected from the game, arguing a call, cussing out the ref. He damn near headbutted the guy. Relax. He got kicked out of the game. I understand you passionate and you want to win every basketball game, but sometimes just chill out, man. It is what it is. You should be setting an example for these kids, not yelling and screaming every time things don't go your way. I just think you need to chill out.
Good stuff. Okay, you're right. Hey, my final thought is today is like a holiday for me. Free agency period have officially been underway. You're seeing guys signing with teams or will be signing with teams. And I like the fact that some of the teams that were at the bottom start making football decisions. The Raiders being one of them. The Raiders have really made it seemed like a lot of good pieces. Lindenbaugh coming over there is probably the best move they could have made, making him the highest paid center in all of football history. This is he could be a cornerstone of that offensive line. We probably pretty much know they're going to pick Fernando Mendoza, excuse me. And they got a running back in Ashton Genty. They got a good tight end over there. They got a whole bunch of draft picks. Hopefully they can make moves. Tennessee did the same thing. They are starting to they got a wide receiver, some help to Cam Ward. They got some backups in there, Mitch Trubisky for some insurance policies for Cam Ward just in case he gets sacked. They get some help on defense, getting John Franklin Myers from the Denver Broncos. And the New York Giants is another team. Went and got Isaiah Likely at the tight end position to help with Jackson Dart. They know they got a lot of people that's injured that should come back healthy. Getting Tremaine Edmonds, a guy that is a playmaker at the linebacker position to go with all the other talent. That one only thing I'll say with the Giants, that means that Thibodeau is probably going to be on the move. Let's look at Thibodeau's name on draft day, probably to get moved to a team because I think they're going to roll with Abdul Carter. So I can see Thibodeau being a casualty and being moved and going to a team that can use an edge rusher. But nevertheless, I like the fact that these teams, even the Washington Commanders went out there, spent a lot of money in free agency. The Chicago Bears look like they are for real. I just like teams that are at the bottom actually making football moves. The Cleveland Browns even made some football moves, getting 2 solid offensive linemen and a former All-Pro at middle linebacker with Quentin Williams. So, I mean, even the Bengals even landed one of the high-rated free agents. So I like the teams that did not make the playoffs to make decisions. Kansas City didn't sit back. Kenneth Walker is going to be a tremendous addition. Travis Kelce said, "I'm gonna do it one more time." So, man, I just love it, man. I love when teams try to get better. They don't just sit and wait. The Cowboys got better. That's what I like. I like to see teams that are bad go get better. So I'm a little long-winded on that. I'm just very excited about. It was not one team, I don't believe, that was active. Real quick before we get out of here, who would you think was the least active today? So,
Who was least active? Minnesota hasn't done anything.
nah, Minnesota.
I would say Minnesota.
Yeah, they ain't did shit. Mike, who you think was the least active, at least today?
I think Philadelphia.
True.
They've been losing players.
They lost 2. They lost N'Kobe Dean and they lost Phillips.
They lost Reed Blankenship too.
Oh yeah, he went to the Texans.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out here before we get out of here. I think the Green Bay Packers have been the biggest loser during this free agency period, losing Rashard Gary. They haven't resigned Romeo Dobbs. They lost Malik Willis. They lost the offensive lineman Jenkins. They have lost a tremendous amount without replenishing that cabinet. And I don't think the Green Bay Packers was that talented where they can just plug and place. So I would say that's the team that I think right now I'm really scratching my head about them, man. Like I ain't gonna even lie, I'm scratching my head right now about the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers could go from a playoff team to nothing at all next year. But that's just me. Once again, I'm Jody Coleman, the host of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut. Man, we're here with my man Michael, the People's Champ Perry, in the building. We got Jarrell, Soul on Sports, Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. You just saw Donald, the voice of the youth, Coleman, in the building. Ray, more than just a barber. Lindsay in his absence. Jason, the hefty lefty, in his absence. Andrew, mic'd up in his absence. But we can't do none of this, y'all, without my man Gerard J. Kane, the chef, cooking it up in the kitchen, man. So what we doing till tomorrow, though, man?
We working.
See y'all tomorrow.
Peace.